Welcome everybody. My name is Gary Ford and I'm one of the account directors here at Latcham Direct, and we're based in Bristol. Thank you for joining our webinar today, where we will share a part of the journey we're on in trying to decarbonise our business and explore how this can bring benefits in creating greener solutions for membership organisations. In guiding you through on how it is possible for you to make these greener choices, we're also trying to debunk some of the myths surrounding your choice of marketing materials and marketing channels, whilst considering sustainable alternatives and attempt to quantify some of those positive impacts. I would now like to introduce you to my colleague, David Loney.
Thanks, Gary, and hello everyone. I am a client director at Latcham, and I am involved with the membership and charity sectors. Latcham have adopted some models and set itself key targets in order to direct and drive our activity. With this in mind, we would like to give you an overview of what we have called our framework for progress. Of course, it's an ongoing programme of work, but it has become deeply embedded within our culture and fundamentally focused our activities and approach.
We have put our social values at the heart of our decision making, based on the UK 7 principles of social value, where social value is defined as the value people place on the changes they experience in their lives. The principles of social value form the building blocks around how we can look to create this through increasing equality, improving well-being, and of course, environmental sustainability. Their importance is that they influence our judgment and underpin our decision-making, as ultimately increasing social value is all about making choices. In adopting the principles of social value, Latcham actively works towards mitigating any of the potential negative environmental impacts of our activities through planned investments and ensuring environmental benefits are delivered as an integral part of our services. We will take you through some of our initiatives shortly, but there is no doubt having this mindset makes you more alive to the possibilities and the opportunities for making continual improvements.
Let's have a look at this graph. It outlines the major investments we will be making over the next 5 years. The plan was to install solar panels on our roof this year, but COVID-19 has meant we have to push this back into 2021. Unfortunately, a disappointing reality of the times we are in. But our commitment remains to being carbon neutral by 2025. As you can see, we have a number of initiatives, many of which are already underway. And we took receipt of our first electric van just prior to lockdown. This is a journey we have been on for at least 10 years. Energy usage and waste are constantly monitored too, and we have made great strides, including the installation of low energy lighting and upgrades to air conditioning systems and purchase of low energy power. In 2018 and 19, we produced zero plastic waste throughout the production environment, and any plastic generated from the office was 100% recycled. The business also promotes reusing cardboard boxes, parcel packaging, and drinks bottles. In fact, single-use plastic drink containers have been prohibited within the business since January 2019. Equally important, all items we produce or use are manufactured in the UK. And what's more, in 2018, 62% of our purchases were sourced from organisations within the southwest of England, contributing to the local economy and further reducing our carbon footprint.
You already know that unlocking value is at the heart of retaining and growing membership, because it enables you to engage in a way which is both relevant and resonates. But what exactly is value, and does sustainability have a place in this? Certainly we all know member value when we see it and feel it, yet as a member it can be difficult to articulate and then for the membership organisations to define. It is, however, fundamental that we understand it because of the impact it has on our ability to thrive and to grow. Traditional definitions of customer value in terms of satisfaction, experience versus the cost of that experience are not particularly helpful. as they don't really shed any light on what these experiences need to be and tend to reduce the interaction between a member and organisation to a transactional level. But helpful research by management consultants Bain and Company gives us an insight into how value can be defined using the universal building blocks of value, as shown here in this slide. Not all relevant or apply to everyone's organisation, but determining which ones are creates opportunities for you to deepen your relationships with members and even establish new ones. Although you don't need to satisfy all functional elements, you will need to meet some of them in order to deliver against the more powerful values, the ones that really establish the connection between you and your members. You will identify this at the top of the pyramid. Sustainability comes in many guises, and therefore where it sits within the pyramid will vary. Arguably, an e-membership card could be perceived as functional, whereas supporting a rewilding project would be seen as a social impact. To understand this more in the context of your organisation and members, you may need to conduct your own research, especially if strategic decisions are going to be based around creating value. There is already plenty of evidence showing that the millennials and the Generation Zs are demanding more sustainable credentials, and these are your members of tomorrow.
Sometimes we think we know about things, but when you take a closer look, what we thought we knew often gets challenged. We've all received statements from our banks and utility companies with a simple message urging us to go paperless, save trees. Implicit in these requests is the assumption that going digital is better for the environment. But is this really so? Well, the answer is it's complicated because it's difficult to quantify since you're not comparing like for like. And there are as many arguments as counter-arguments as to which is better. But the bottom line is both paper and digital media have an effect on the environment and indeed share common issues. Statistics show that the average office prints 5,000 pages of paper each month, which on average works out at 60% of the paper produced by a single tree. Moving as many processes as possible over to digital may seem like the obvious solution. But while paper has long been used in the office environment, the true impact of going paperless, switching to digital, has yet to be established. Huge efforts have been made to make the paper-making process sustainable. And in the UK, 80% of paper waste is recycled. Digital devices have longevity and are used for multiple functions, so recycling of a kind. However, they are big users of energy, with research claiming the internet-connected devices could consume 1/5 of the global electricity by 2025. The ultimate goal would perhaps be to combine renewable energy and recycling to allow us to continue to enjoy both in a sustainable way. And why is it so important to have access to both? Because they are very different forms of communication and bring with them different dimensions in how we receive and enjoy this communication. Let's explore that a little bit further.
We have all occupied a virtual world in recent weeks, and what a lifesaver it has been to be able to see and communicate with colleagues, with friends, and of course with family. However, one thing we have also learned is that there is no substitute for the physical contact. It is almost as if we have been living in a virtual waiting room, keenly anticipating when the real experience can return. It has been an important lesson and a good reminder. We can see that having a single channel of communication is just not enough. And listening to someone on the phone is great. Being able to see them at the same time is even better, but being able to be with them is the best. Intuitively, we know this is yet, if we think about this specifically from a marketing perspective, and indeed a member value perspective, there are many who would support the virtues of a digital over physical.
Let's take the simple example of the experience of reading a journal digitally compared to having a physical hard copy in your hands. People commonly report that digital journals and e-readers are no match for the sensory experience of a physical journal. The feel, the scent, the memories of where the journal was acquired from. This is supported by research. There have been several studies that suggest paper outperforms digital on a large variety of metrics. There's a study of paper marketing materials by Canadian neuromarketing firm True Impact, which found that paper marketing had a lower cognitive load. Basically, it was easier to understand, therefore was more persuasive and held attention better than digital display marketing. Furthermore, fMRI studies by Bangor University showed that physical material is more real to the brain and involves more emotional processing. This suggests that membership organisations should be cautious of a shift to purely digital communications, and that a blended approach is the way to go to retain member value. Obviously, you'll need your own data to tell you for sure. Having a multifaceted and blended solution offers a sensory and emotional richness which simply isn't provided through digital communications alone. Multi-channel communication strategy that incorporates the benefits of paper with speed and accessibility and ease of use of digital comms will most likely be the key to retaining member value.
Moving on from digital, that knowing physical remains an important form of communication, how do we ensure we do this in a sustainable way? Well, there are a number of things that we can do.
Firstly, think about the type of paper you're using. There are probably two main considerations: whether to use paper derived from licensed forestry stewardship council, FSC material, meaning that the timber and pulp are certified as coming from responsible managed forests. The FSC, as many of you will know, is an organisation dedicated to the protection of forests worldwide. Their standards have been developed to protect forests, biodiversity, and their ecological processes. These ensure that trees used are either replaced or allowed to regenerate naturally, and certain parts of the forest are protected entirely. By using FSC certified paper, you're ensuring that you're doing your part to look after the world's forests, along with the many species and communities that they support. The Council also guarantee that they will not be contributing towards global deforestation. In the UK alone, over 1.6 million hectares of forest are protected. Recycled paper, on the other hand, is paper made from pure pre-used paper. The whole recycling process is, however, more complicated and does have some environmental implications itself. The paper has to be cleaned, is usually bleached, and uses more energy than producing virgin paper. Recycling paper does, however, ensure no new trees are felled to produce the paper, and that there is less landfill. Both options are a huge leap from the use of uncertified paper.
The use and fate of plastic materials is coming under scrutiny by governments and environmental agencies and academic researchers around the world. This is due in large part to the widespread and highly visible problem of how to manage the large volume of discarded plastic containers and packaging products that end up in the waste stream. In 2009, Latcham invested in the latest inkjet printing technology. The main reason we took this action was purely because the type of printing equipment we use is critical to our own carbon footprint, and we clearly appreciate and understand the need from an environmental perspective. The latest inkjet technology results in far more energy efficient printing. Even better, it eliminates the need for print cartridges, as the machine is simply topped up with a water-based ink material, as it is a liquid. As a direct result, this has allowed us to move away from toner-based printing, which uses microplastics as a key constituent. Microplastics are general concern because they are polluting rivers and oceans and having a negative impact on both aquatic and human life. But we need inks as they bring us a brighter and more colourful things in our life. Colour is important and a powerful communication tool, And thanks to the recent advances in technology, we can do this in a more eco-friendly way.
So let's have a look at membership cards. How many cards do you carry around in your wallet? Most, of course, will be plastic. It's estimated there are around 1.2 billion credit cards alone in the world. So it doesn't take much imagination to appreciate the scale of the problem. There are, of course, alternatives such as Apple Pay and wallet apps. The same challenges face membership organizations. What do you do about membership cards? Do you move to a digital card or a paper card or continue with plastic? Or have you dispensed with membership cards altogether? Digital cards can easily get lost in the clutter and be easily forgotten, out of sight, out of mind. They fail to provide a tangible value reminder that physical cards do. And integrated paper cards tend not to have longevity. However, both digital and biodegradable plastic cards can be integrated into your CRM as long as the physical cards have a mag stripe or simple chip. The choice will obviously need to align with your member organization overall strategy. But there is a further alternative, allowing you to retain the benefits of a physical card without the associated environmental impact. Eco membership cards are being increasingly widely used. 100% FSC certified, 100% biodegradable, and 100% compostable. The eco-friendly card is made from replenishable raw materials. The card has a premium quality and high perceived value, and it looks and feels like a conventional card.
There is no doubt that member organisations are having to evolve rapidly at the moment. More than ever, we're having to get to grips with the understanding of the new and immediate challenges forced upon us by the coronavirus. However, other key issues remain prominent also, including how you retain and grow your membership base through engaging in a way which holds value for your members. And we come back again to the values model discussed at the beginning of the webinar and how you approach this sustainability. We will now show you a few examples of what member organisations we work with are doing, just to help feed your imagination.
Go naked. So what do we mean by this? Well, naked is really just a concept. It could refer to the total absence of external wrapping or an unpackaging of a product, reducing the conventional package to its minimum form, or to materials that can be reused or recycled in order to reduce their environmental impact. There are a number of things you can do to adopt naked choices, including biodegradable polywrap, or indeed wrap-free, such as the aptly named Royal Mail product Naked Mail for your magazines and journals. The benefit of no wrapping at all will definitely appeal to your members. Try to use paper produced by non-chlorinating bleaching methods. Ask not to have rubber-based adhesives used in your communications materials. To aid recyclability, avoid laminate finishes and avoid the use of UV varnishes because these are mineral oil-based and contain solvents. And remember, for those membership organisations that are a charity, Royal Mail offer discounts on sustainable mail packs within the advertising mail section. And the time is right. Members and consumers alike have started pushing towards the idea of nakedness with an increasingly critical awareness of material origins, compositions, and production techniques. You don't have to know or keep up to date with all this, but it is worth working with suppliers who operate an environmental management system conforming to ISO 14001. Ask them questions about their processes and ideas about how to improve your organisation's sustainability.
There will be very few people who can say their way of working hasn't changed in recent weeks, the most obvious being remote working. It has brought its joys and its challenges. One specifically is the handling of post-room mail that is normally sent on a day-to-day basis from your own offices. Previously, your organisation had a post room, and now you're without access to these office facilities. So how can you take care of the day-to-day essential mail? This in turn has spurred a number of organisations to look at something called hybrid mail. And essentially, it is like having an outsourced post room where you press click and send personalised mail to your members, but taking away the need to deal with printing and posting of the letters in your own office or post room. It allows a user to create a document on their desktop or laptop and send to a hybrid mail provider in order for them to print and mail on your behalf. It is also possible to track your documents throughout the entire process from creation through to delivery. The solution is fully encrypted and secure for processing of your mail from receipt to dispatch. It has been an important way for organisations to maintain their operations, with the added benefit of finding it has improved the efficiency of their mailing process and achieved savings in postal costs.
Chartered Institute of Public Relations, CIPR, are a typical professional membership organisations, inasmuch as they have member categories: fellows, standard member, associate member, students, etc. They also offer excellent training for their members and have a Chartered Certificate Personnel Development Programme. Looking for cost savings led to a review of their approach to printing. The result of this was not only a switch to the new Ginkgo paper-based card, but also a decision to use only a white paper solution, eliminating the need for any base stock. It has brought big benefits. Not only has this reduced the cost and space of storage, but it has reduced wastage for setups, as everything is printed on demand, completely removed of any potential for obsolete stock, and supported a more environmental approach to the operations. Definitely a win-win.
The Royal Horticultural Society is the largest garden charity and membership organisation with an excess of 500,000 members. RHS have an ongoing objective to increase membership year on year and use highly personalised direct marketing as the main communication driver. This proven process works well by taking a more targeted approach to communication. The Autumn Gardens project was a targeted mailing to members in years 1 and 2 of membership who have the lowest renewal rates. The prime objective was to use this direct marketing product to encourage members to make use of their member benefits, especially garden visits, as there is a strong correlation between garden visits and membership renewal. This very targeted approach was to drive members to 5 prime gardens plus partner gardens across the UK. And a discount voucher was incorporated into the item to allow redemption in the gift shops within the gardens. The data structure was always the key to success, with careful mining towards personalised, specific to the previous members' activities. The controlled use of data will provide a better, more relevant experience for your members. But this becomes relevant as a printed communication be creative and engaging, as it is a very tangible option that has a lingering effect. One initial consideration is, does my data have sufficient detail in order to be more targeted with the correct message? And any document design can be personalised by replacing static graphics and text with dynamic images using simple rules and logic. Targeted, personalised print communications can improve the audience response rates, leading to a higher return on investment. The next consideration, if the printing could be approached in a new way, where no litho materials were required. Enter inkjet printing. And the benefits: it's extremely high quality in the print results, in fact better than traditional litho. No pre-printed litho materials are required. This is a full white paper solution using the inkjet print facilities to print and personalise in one process. The cost saving on postage and production by combining all cells into one process, and a result was an increase in the visits to each of the organisation's gardens and raised the brand awareness while promoting incentives to drive new member sign-ups.
So I guess in summary, your members are looking for you to be proactive in terms of sustainability. In turn, you will see an improvement in member value, engagement, retention, and member acquisition. having a blended approach to digital and paper-based solution will reduce costs and enhance your communications. So it is clear we all have a part to play in environmental protection, both as an organisation and an individual. It is important to have a strategic approach, as this will influence not only investment decisions, but things like the materials you use, selection of suppliers, and even your marketing channels. And sustainability is an important way to create member value, but it is not a one-size-fits-all. You need to understand what is relevant and translate this in a meaningful way for your members of today and indeed tomorrow. If COVID-19 did have a silver lining, it has certainly been a reawakening of some of the things we had lost. Looking after the planet in a collective effort, and we would like to finish with a short video of how together we can make good things happen.